most important tools and which tools you should use for your dealership. Well, this is part of the problem. If you look at this screen, this is only some of the social networks that are available out there, so it is overwhelming. The other thing that I want to say is, and this is part of the problem with using social media and finding an immediate return on investment. And the reason is that up until social media came out, about 4 or 5 years ago, we had our demographic was split among basically 20 major categories of traditional marketing, which meant that if we did newspaper, TV, maybe radio, we went to some trade shows, we did some presentations, we could pretty much reach a majority of our demographic. That's not true anymore, and that's changing. Where we used to be able to use newspaper advertising in the dealer industry, it's almost useless because less and less people are reading the newspaper. Personally, I haven't picked up a newspaper in over 10 years. I get all of my news online, and that's this fundamental shift in media. And the other problem is that in social media, there's so many of these social networks that one demographic that we used to be comfortable with is split throughout the traditional channels as well as these social channels. So it's now a much more difficult task to reach a decent percent of our demographic. So you have to have a strategy, you have to have a plan, and you have to know more than just Facebook and Twitter. It requires a lot more. So if you want to take this big picture and really look at what the meat is, what the most important is, that's blogging, microblogging, and social networks. If you can focus on just those 3 categories, you got a pretty good handle. You got 90% of what you need to be doing on social media. And we're going to talk about each one of these. Blogging, microblogging, and social networks. Do those 3 things. Do those 3 things well, and you got 90% of everything that you need to do in social media marketing. Now let's talk about Twitter because it's one of the most famous of all of the social networks. And it's actually really quite powerful. Twitter is no more than just text messaging to groups. You follow someone as a group member that sends out texts, and it's the same as texting a family member or a friend, and you have groups that follow you. So who do you follow is a question that I get all of the time. Well, if you're a dealer, you need to be following the people in your industry. If you're a Honda dealer,